I had always thought I wielded power over many aspects of my life: loneliness, heartache, and even my desires. Yet, on that fateful day, I confronted the undeniable truth that everything had slipped through my fingers. The most challenging and forbidden chapters of my life commenced with this tale. My heart races and my breath quickens as I recall the events that unfolded. This transcends the realm of mere confession. It weaves a tale of how solitude, yearning, and clashing emotions can lead a woman to drift away from her true self. At 55 years of age, I often find that people are taken aback when they discover my true age. For a decade now, I have walked the path of solitude since parting ways with Edgar, who betrayed my trust. Though I cherish the life I lead, those 10 years of being on my own have carved a deep emptiness within me. Regardless of the strength I project under the cover of night, that sense of emptiness still lingers with the dawn. As I prepared to step out for a coffee rendezvous with my friend Emma, who shares the same chapter of life as I do, I felt a sense of camaraderie in our shared experiences. As I stood before the mirror, clad in a light shirt and a miniskirt skirt, a small grin crept across my face, reflecting a moment of quiet satisfaction. I still look good, I whispered to myself, a gentle reminder that often escapes my mind. Emma and I met at the cafe, and as we delved into our pasts, sharing tales of silence in our homes and the weight of relationship disappointments, my gaze drifted outside. There, I spotted my nephew Luke, a 25-year-old filled with joy and respect. Yet today, he was not alone. A tall, broad-shouldered man stood beside him, capturing my attention immediately. In due time, I discovered that his name was Ryan. At 27, he possessed a charm that went beyond mere attractiveness. He possessed an aura that left a lasting mark. My heart raced as his gaze intertwined with mine. A feeling flickered within me, yet I found myself unable to give it voice. Following a brief exchange of pleasantries, Luke turned to leave, yet my attention was drawn to the way Ryan cast a glance in my direction. His looks held a depth that transcended mere courtesy. There was more to the tale. Upon arriving home, I was greeted by a large box waiting at my door, holding the TV and music system I had eagerly ordered. Yet, I realized that setting it up alone was beyond my capabilities. As I reminisced, I remembered Luke urging me to give him a call, so I did just that, and he informed me that Ryan would be joining him. A peculiar thrill coursed through me. My heart raced as the doorbell echoed through the air, for I could not ignore the longing to lay eyes on Ryan once more. As Luke and Ryan set up the TV, I took a step back, captivated by Luke's lively spirit. Luke strolled in with an air of ease, but when Ryan stepped through the door, our gazes locked, and an unnameable tension enveloped me. Little did I know how this day would unfold, but now I realize it all started with those captivating eyes. Ryan was sharp and intent, yet each time our gazes intertwined, an undeniable tension hung in the air. Clad in my blouse and miniskirt, I caught Ryan's gaze upon me, and a wave of awareness washed over me regarding my outfit. It stirred a thrill within, one that I endeavored to keep in check. In a fleeting moment, Ryan passed me a cable, and our hands brushed against each other, a subtle connection that lingered in the air. We both instinctively drew away, yet for a fleeting instant, it seemed as though a spark had been kindled. I hold deep gratitude for both of them. Facing challenges like this can be quite a struggle when you're on your own. Ryan offered an apology accompanied by a gentle smile, yet it was his calming voice that stirred something within me as the scene unfolded. I turned to Luke and said, "Once everything is set up, I'm inviting you both to the first movie night. You both must be present." Ryan offered a warm smile and remarked, "Feel free to reach out to us for matters like this." His tone was sincere, yet it carried an undercurrent of depth and intrigue. With a gentle curve of his lips, Luke beamed, That sounds absolutely marvelous from the very start. Enchanting evenings are filled with delight. He shared his thoughts. Ryan simply flashed a grin and nodded. Yet his entire focus was directed at me. Allow me to offer you a moment of comfort. I shall brew you a cup of coffee, I declared, as I activated the coffee maker and ventured into the kitchen door as I spun around. Drawn by the sound of footsteps trailing behind me, there stood Ryan in the doorway, arms crossed and a presence that commanded attention. His gaze held on me for a moment, tracing the hem of my skirt, the soft fabric of my top gently brushing against my shoulders before returning to meet my eyes. Even though he had yet to fully step into the kitchen, his gaze bore the weight of countless untold tales. His voice was soothing yet warm, and I found myself captivated by his remarkable presence. With a commanding presence, he stands tall, his strong arms exuding strength, all while an air of calm assurance surrounds him. His mere presence brought a subtle smile to my lips. I responded that there was no need for gratitude, as choosing such a large TV had required more effort on my part for your benefit. With a soft chuckle, Ryan leaned against the table, his large hands gripping the edge as if to assert his presence in the space around him. He responded, a hint of curiosity in his voice. You appear quite content with your decision, as his eyes roamed over me, finally resting on my face once more. Indeed, I reply, as I deftly arranged my hair. Little joys such as this take on greater significance when one finds themselves in solitude. I felt his gaze upon me, a silent admiration reflected in the way his eyes roamed over me. It was a thrilling yet unsettling experience. Ryan's voice softened, taking on an intimate quality. Loneliness, though not always a dark cloud, can cast a deeper shadow on our experiences, making them feel more profound when there's someone to share the journey with. His expression hinted at a depth that transcended the simple act of sharing an idea. Without realizing it, my eyes wandered to his imposing figure. He possesses a touch of muscle. For a fleeting moment, silence enveloped me. I held the coffee mugs tightly, striving to compose myself. I suppose you're right, I whispered, though the slight quiver in my voice gave me away. With a determined stride, Ryan rose from the table and moved ahead. The warmth of his breath enveloped me, a gentle reminder of his closeness. If you ever wanted to test out this system, just invite Luke and me over, he said. His gaze locked onto mine. Though his words appeared to be a simple recommendation, the cadence of his voice and the glimmer in his eyes hinted at a much deeper narrative waiting to unfold. At that very moment, Luke's voice echoed from the living room, piercing through the air. Could you kindly hand me the wire? Ryan. After a brief moment of contemplation, Ryan nodded and declared, I'll be right there. In that moment, the kitchen buzzed with the palpable tension that hung thickly between us. As he departed, the weight of his formidable presence lingered in the air. As we sipped our coffees, we exchanged a few words, letting the moments linger between us. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ryan and Luke for their efforts in completing the system setup. With a playful glint in his eye, Luke remarked, Enjoy it, Auntie, while Ryan offered a polite smile. Do let us know if there's anything else you require. Sod. A palpable spark lingered in the air as our gazes intertwined once more before their departure. An unyielding connection. I felt both fresh and electric. A hush fell over the home once they had taken their leave. Even with the new TV and sound system gleaming before me, my thoughts lingered on Ryan. His tranquil yet enchanting demeanor, gentle touches, and authoritative aura continually pulled me closer. As I tidied up the coffee mugs, my eyes caught a glimpse of a folded piece of paper accompanied by a delicate little flower resting on the table. As I picked it up and read the message, taking in Ryan's flawless handwriting, my heart raced with excitement. If you ever find yourself in need of anything, feel free to reach out to me with a call. Right below was the number to reach, and my heart raced. Stirred by this humble yet impactful gesture, I found myself truly taken aback by this guy. As I settled in front of the new TV that night, my gaze drifted to Ryan's number displayed on my phone. Should I let it be, or reach out with a message? My emotions surged like a tempest, poised to engulf my reason in their wild embrace. I found myself at the edge of my limits. With a swift motion, I tapped out a message to Ryan, expressing my gratitude for the lovely flower he had left for me today. My fingers dancing across the screen. How thoughtful of you. Would you care to join me for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee as we explore the system together? If you have some time to spare. As soon as I hit send, a rush of adrenaline surged through me, making my heart race, as if it were ready to leap from my chest. The answer came swiftly. The glow of his response lit up the screen, accompanied by the familiar buzz of my phone. What a marvelous idea! Just as I was about to bring a bottle of red wine over, there was a knock at my door, and there stood Ryan, holding a bottle in hand. Once more, I found myself utterly astonished by his unwavering confidence. He was distinguished by his careful attention to every nuance and his warm-hearted nature. With a playful grin, he declared that a true system test calls for a fine wine. The profound gaze in Ryan's eyes as he raised his glass and murmured, "Meant solely for those cherish," rendered me utterly speechless. This man was more than just nice. With every movement, he brought life to an emptiness within me. As we flicked the TV on and began to explore the music system, our attention drifted away from the screen and the melodies, lost instead in the captivating connection we shared. As our conversations deepened, the space between us seemed to shrink. With Ryan drawing nearer, the atmosphere was thickening, charged with intensity, as our gestures and glances spoke volumes. Mia, I didn't arrive here this evening merely to sample the wine. Ryan spoke softly yet with a resolute tone, expressing, I'd like to discover more about you. Every one of my feelings surged forth as those words reached my ears. My gaze was locked onto his, and in that instant, I realized that everything about our relationship was shifting profoundly. It was completely in our hands how we chose to navigate this growing pressure. A subtle change stirred within me as I felt the weight of Ryan's piercing gaze. With a gentle motion, I rose and thoughtfully set my wine glass upon the sofa table. I caught the sharp intake of his breath as my fingers reached for the straps of my dress. I rushed over to him and offered a warm smile. If you genuinely wish to understand another person, I responded, my voice trembling ever so slightly, almost a whisper. Yet, the effect of my words was undeniable. It is essential to draw nearer, for the straps of my dress have slipped from my shoulders and now lie upon the ground. In Ryan's eyes, I could witness a deep response and a sense of adoration that spoke volumes. In that moment, all else in the room faded away into a serene hush. Ryan has undoubtedly and unmistakably crossed my path. He approached with purpose, each step measured and intentional, closing the gap that lay between us. He was so near that I could sense his breath against my skin. Mia, the very essence of your strength only adds to your captivating charm, he said, his voice rich and resonant. Though my heart raced like a wild stallion, I held on to my calm with unwavering grace. I tilted my head just a touch and locked eyes with him. Ryan, I listened as my voice remained unwavering. This evening, I chose to be here to discover more about you, not merely to savor wine. The remarks completely eased the tension in the air. Ryan wrapped his hands around my waist, drawing me closer. His eyes resembled a vast ocean, deep and inviting, where one could easily lose themselves. He leaned in gradually and pressed his lips against mine, and it was the most profound, genuine, and all-consuming kiss I had ever known. As Ryan's hands roamed over my body, a wave of surrender washed over me, urging me to release all inhibitions and offer myself entirely to him. As my hands sought the strength of his shoulders, he hesitated for a heartbeat, then pivoted to confront the music system. Moments later, a soft, enchanting tune began to weave through the atmosphere. As I sank into the embrace of the sofa, the gentle rhythm ignited my anticipation. The music intertwined with my own sounds, and in an instant, everything unfolded so rapidly. At my GS relentlessly dug into Ryan's back, triggering a fierce response from my body. For a fleeting moment, I opened my eyes and gazed at the TV, yet silence enveloped the scene. Ryan continued to shower me with kisses, his words flowing like a gentle stream, praising my allure and the captivating essence that I possessed. It was truly remarkable. My heart raced with anticipation, for never before had anyone in my life felt such a profound connection to me. I gazed at Ryan, struggling to articulate the sheer brilliance of his appearance. His robust, commanding presence and slightly dampened hair come together in perfect harmony. In those moments, laughter filled the air as we exchanged jokes, and as I pondered our compatibility, a sudden thought crossed Ryan's mind. The mere idea of his absence stirred a sense of unease within me, prompting me to sit up straight and scan the surroundings for him. I nestled beside him, surrendering to the embrace of slumber, the soothing calm and weariness, weaving a gentle tapestry that pulled me into a profound sleep. Yet, as the dawn broke, and the first light of day crept in, I stirred and noticed that the space beside me lay vacant. My gaze fell upon the coffee table, where my clothes lay scattered across the floor, and there, amidst the chaos, rested a folded note and a solitary flower. I swiftly seized it and began to immerse myself in the words, "Prepare yourself for a journey to a place of wonder, where magic awaits just around the corner." Last night was nothing short of magical, a mere prologue to the adventures that await us. I eagerly anticipate the unfolding of our journey ahead. As I read the note, a sense of wonder and warmth enveloped me, and I picked up the flower with a smile dancing on my lips. Ryan always leaves me in awe. I came to understand that this tale was just beginning, and that I was about to embark on a journey brimming with emotions I had never experienced before. It was one of those days, truly. Yet the tale was far from over. Prepare yourself for an incredible wave of feelings as I unveil the next chapter of this tale. Stay tuned for the unfolding tale ahead. If you found this tale captivating, I invite you to show your appreciation by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel for more enchanting stories to come.